Blazed and Confused is the 7th episode of the 26th season of The Simpsons, and I genuinely don't know if I enjoyed it. I think I did. This episode focuses on Bart's new teacher, Mr. Lawson, voiced by Willem Dafoe, and well, he's not a very nice teacher, and immediately he starts basically bullying everybody. He starts the name Smelson. I can't believe it took them 26 seasons to to call Nelson Smelson. And Bart's not accepting this at all. So Bart and Milhouse hatch a plan to get the ultimate revenge. And Homer, meanwhile, had promised Marge last year that he would book their camping holiday for a year in advance. And it's time to go camping, and he hadn't booked anything. But there might be an option to save Homer's skin. I don't want to say too much more about either of the narratives in any real detail, but I will say I liked the way the narratives developed, the separate stories. I liked the direction they were going, and ultimately what happens with this teacher and Bart I thought was quite clever. Actually, I won't say what happens in the final scene, but the final scene, I adored every second of it. So I feel like the episode for me started off with fascination, and then I was uncertain about where it was going, but maybe in a good way. Kind of like an apprehensive, not sure what's going to happen here. I don't like this teacher, but I'm fascinated by the weird happenings, and some weird things do happen. And I have to say, it's beautifully animated. One of my favourite bits is when Marge has a series of like goggles or sunglasses on her hair, and they're brightly lit as if they're glowing, and it's such a subtle thing, but it was so well done. And Marge in this was absolutely brilliant. And I thought Bart and Milhouse's plan was pretty interesting. I feel like we only scratched the surface with this teacher, and I feel like there could have been so much more to uncover. But generally, the direction it took was quite fascinating. It is also obviously interesting that this is Bart's, this character is introduced as Bart's teacher. There's obviously no mention of Krabappel, which I think was the right approach. I think we can just assume how people would be feeling if the teacher's being replaced, and emotions would be quite high. I think, things don't need to be said, and I think that was the right decision. Yes, I enjoyed it. I've decided I liked it. It's one of those episodes where once I watch it again, it will probably lose its appeal, because for me it was the mystery of what would happen and ultimately where the episode would go, I think, that kept me engaged. But I might watch it again. If I watch this season again, I'm sure I won't skip it. But I think I enjoyed it. It's definitely a very interesting episode.